Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, choir. So nice to see you. Beautiful opening piece. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Emerson Unitarian Universalist Congregation on this beautiful day. We welcome and celebrate your choice that you have made freely to be here. We honor your choice of how you will be with us today, be that in person, online, or perhaps viewing this at a later time. Now, I may have a preference for you, but I would never be so arrogant and misinformed as to think I could make your choice for you. You have autonomy over your body and what you choose to do. It is okay to clap right now. It's been an emotionally charged week for many of us, and I welcome you into this time of weekly pause. Indeed, we need a time to honor our interconnectedness and a time to recharge with the power of community, and I'm glad you've chosen to do that here today. Today is Mother's Day in this culture. Happy Mother's Day. It's a day set aside to celebrate the incredible journey of motherhood that many women choose to make. The choice to be a parent in any form is a profound lifetime commitment, but the responsibility of caring for our children of this world must extend beyond any individual parent. So today, during our service, we're going to turn our focus to our beloved children whose life journey we will bless during our child dedication ceremony. As their religious community, you will have the opportunity to commit your support for their ongoing spiritual care, and I hope you choose to do that. Today we continue our theme of embracing beauty as we talk about the beautiful labyrinth of life. Yesterday was actually World Labyrinth Day, a day to honor and celebrate this ancient and modern spiritual practice of labyrinth walking. After service today, Chris Beam is going to be sharing her beautiful large labyrinth with us. So we're going to be moving the chairs aside, and there'll be a big, beautiful labyrinth here for you to be able to experience this labyrinth walk here. But let's continue our worship this morning now with an opening hymn. Please rise as you're able in body or spirit. We're going to turn to our teal hymnal first with a beautiful opening hymn called We Are. It's number 1051 in the teal hymnal. Please rise as you're able.
Let's
beautiful. And those of you who followed that along get extra points for knowing how to read music. I was lost. But you guys got it, so thank you.
Good morning. Yes, I was going to say, you need a lot of extra air for that hymn. When I saw that, I was like, oh boy, here we go. I'm glad it's at the beginning before we get tired. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Jacoby, and I'm a member of the worship team, the storybook troupe, and the choir. Each Sunday, we pause to light candles of acknowledgement and remembrance. We light a candle in recognition of the Cherokee and Muskogee nations of people who lived on this land for centuries before us. And we light a second candle in remembrance of Africans enslaved on or near this land and in this country. We acknowledge the suffering caused by the act of violence that were perpetrated against them, and we commit ourselves to being a people who will not allow such atrocities to continue. May these candles humbly remind us of our interconnection and the impact of our collective actions. May there be healing in all nations of people. Each Sunday, we also light our chalice. Its light is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism and a reminder of our commitment to be a beacon of love and hope in the world. Today's chalice lightings are from Thich Nhat Hanh. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment, to appreciate the peace and beauty that are available right now. And now, in the spirit of beloved community, let's greet and welcome each other to worship as we share our congregational affirmation, we need not love alike to love alike. Those in the sanctuary, feel free to move around and offer a greeting to others, and for those online, please use the chat to introduce yourself or unmute to say hello.
I'm formulating. I know it's Douglas and Michael. I just have to figure out. Douglas. It's good to see you again.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Drew, and I serve as a member of the Emerson Pastoral Care Team. This is the time in our service that we pause to reflect on and share the joys, sorrows, and concerns in our lives. I invite you to use this moment of pause to take a deep breath. Notice what is on your own heart today. Are there joys enlivening your spirit? Or perhaps there are sorrows or concerns you carry with you today. Allow this to be a time to give them space, to be held with gentleness and compassion. Take another deep breath in and out. As Reverend Deborah lights our candles of care, allow yourself to receive these joys from around our community. From Maggie Baker. Yesterday, my husband Danny and I celebrated our 18th wedding anniversary. Love you, sweetheart. Can't wait to see what the next 18 years bring. And another joy from the Hard History team. Many thanks to all who participated in this discussion, and special thanks to Ginny Haynes, who was an invaluable member of our team. And there are no mentioned sorrows or concerns today. but you might open your heart and bring that intention forward. Allowing your heart to open even more. Please feel free to say out loud or to type into the chat the names of those you are holding in your heart today. Carly. Let us send our heartfelt, caring intentions to all beings everywhere by offering the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. Please repeat the words after me. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be free from harm and suffering. May we all be well in body, heart, and mind. May we all be at peace. Blessed be.
My friends, Unitarian Universalism believes that every child is born in goodness, and a child comes out of the mystery, each unique and each precious. And we believe that though each child's life unfolds in its own way, it is their family and their congregational community who have the responsibility to support and nurture, and by example, guide their spiritual lives.
Children, welcoming them into our community and blessing them and their parents as they continue on their sacred journey as a family. The dedication that's offered today is the dedication of parents and our collective congregation to the child. Together we commit to support and nurture them wherever their path takes them. The great Unitarian Sophia Faz, Alliance Faz, wrote this: "Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, and a time for worshiping."
Would the parents and the children who we are dedicating today please come forward? Beautiful.
Here we have the
And we have
crown.
one parent up there. Everybody can turn around and wave to Maggie. Parents, you have the primary responsibility of raising your children. Today, however, you bring them to us to acknowledge that these children are not merely your own, but are a part of this larger community. As family members and friends of this congregation, we all share the privilege of nurturing these children, guiding them, teaching them, and loving them as they grow. We ask all who are willing to enter into covenant with these children today. Beth, before that. Get your script, Beth.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We didn't practice this.
The book.
Page two. Where it says Beth
Parents,
Klein.
the life of a child is both an awesome responsibility and a wonderful gift. And so we ask you, do you, the parents of these children, pledge your loyalty and love as you nurture them into adulthood? And do you vow to raise your children with an awareness of their interconnectedness with all of life, honoring the inherent worth and dignity of each and every person? If so, please say, "We do."
We do.
Okay. We also have other family members of these children with us today, so I'm going to invite family members of these children to please rise if you would like. Any family members in? Yes? Families, you are charged to guide and support these children in all matters of the Spirit and to be there when their parents' wisdom fails, which we know won't happen, but just in case. Families, do you vow to guide these children in the ways of love and compassion, to teach them to live not only for their own good, but for the good of others? If so, please say, "We do."
Would everyone, including our children and youth, please rise now? For years to come, these young lives will be a part of our community of mutual care and concern. Will you now welcome them into our congregation and pledge that by your example and your participation here, that you will help create a community in which they can grow in stature and in faith? If so, please say, "We do."
We do. You may be seated, except for you guys. You guys stay up here. Because now we get to bless these beautiful children. Children, I know you can't see me, but I'm talking to you. By blessing you, we are celebrating the wonder of your birth, the sacredness of your life, and the universal love that has always and will always hold you. You are part of our natural world, and so we will bless you with nature's elements. These elements will surround you in one form or another wherever you go in life. And with this act of blessing, we pray that throughout your days, you will know your life as sacred and interconnected to all. And we're going to begin with water. We bless you with this water. May you always find your thirst quenched. May your tears be cared for. May you dance in the rain and jump in many puddles. You are water. We now bless you with fire. May this fire remind you of the divine spark of all of creation that is in you. May it inspire your commitment for love and justice. May you be kept warm by the community around you. May all your days be bright. You are fire. And we bless you now with air. May your lungs be full of fresh, sweet air. May you find your voice through song, whispers, and shrieks of laughter. May you have a life full of scents, breezes, and sighs, because you are air. And we now bless you with earth from this land. May this blessing of earth help you feel grounded and strong in this world. May you always be blessed with muddy toes and knees and dirt-filled clothes each day as a reminder of your connection to the earth and the earth's love for you. For you are earth.
So much fun with all my stuff.
I know.
And we bless your life with the spirit of love as we honor you by name. We use a rose as a symbol of eternal love and goodness. We have removed the thorns from these roses, but we know that we cannot always remove the thorns that lie ahead in your life for our children. We pray that when any of you encounter thorns of any kind, that you remember you have a community here to support you.
Divya Grace Pennington, may your feet stand against injustice. May the work of your hands be generous. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak with kindness. May your heart know and give love abundantly. and may you joyously embrace the mystery all the days of your life. Blessings, Divya. Might need some help here, Beth. Hello, little David Peter Haas. May your feet stand against injustice. Tickle, tickle. May the work of your hands be generous. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak with kindness. May your heart know and give love abundantly. And may you joyously embrace the mystery of life all the days of your life. May we all be like this one. There you go, sweetheart. You are blessed. You want to do it? Here, Aurora, you're going to hear. Aurora Ruth Gopin. May your feet stand against injustice. May your hands, the work of your hands, be generous. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips always speak kindness. May your heart love with abundance. And may you joyously embrace the mystery of life all the days of your life. You are blessed, my dear. I want to hold that one. I know, I'm going to bear. I want to have Bear. I don't want him to have one that's too big for him to hold. Dear Barrett Paul Draven. Barrett, may your feet stand against injustice. May the work of your hands be generous. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak with kindness. May your heart know and give love abundantly. And may you joyously embrace the mystery all the days of your life. You are a blessing and blessed, my dear. I'll let Mama hold that too.
Don't smack my face.
Okay. Dear Sybil Brene Baker. Oh, Sybil, could you come over here with me? Come over here. Wes, could you come over too? So we'll start with Sybil. Yeah, I just want to have that sound. Help me out. Mimi, right here. How about right here? Technology is forcing my hand here. Whoa. You want to help me out there, Beth? All right. Sybil Brene Baker. May your feet stand against injustice. May the work of your hands be generous. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak kindness. May your heart know and give love abundantly. And may you embrace the joy of life and the mystery all the days of your life. You are blessed, my dear. And last but definitely not least, Daniel Wesley Baker. May your feet stand against injustice. May the work of your hands be generous. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak with kindness. May your heart give and receive love abundantly. And may you know the mystery of life all the days of your life. You are blessed. Thank you.
Children, we are joyful that you're all here and want you to know that throughout all of your life, the loving spirit of this congregation and our wider faith will be with you. Friends, it's with great joy that I present to you these beautiful children and families, a blessing to us all.
Thank you. Gorgeous. Welcome to our children. We are sure you are going to have a fascinating life, right? All of us old folks, life is fascinating, isn't it? How many people have ever done one of those life journey timeline exercises? It's one of those workshop-y kind of things we get into where you lay out a long piece of paper and you draw a nice long straight line, and on the left you put your birthday, and then you put all like little events in your life along this timeline. Well, I've done lots of these, and though I really do like this exercise and I get a lot out of it, I've always been a little suspicious of the physical representation of that line. This single straight line seems to imply a linear road to my life, as if I was born, and then in some really orderly fashion, stuff lines up and happens, one after another, a nice straight line that brings me to the present. But whose life has ever really been one straight line? Bruce, this is where you stand up and say, "Amen, sister."
Amen, sister.
Yeah. You did good. Whose life indeed has ever followed some easily identifiable linear path from start to finish. Most of our lives look a little bit more like this. Oh, been there again. Oh, done that. Here I am again. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Amen, sister. Indeed, life is not one straight directional line, and though we do not know if we shall ever pass this way again, chances are we do. Again and again, over and over, our life repeats patterns, doesn't it? One of the most spiritually impactful novels I read as a young adult was called Initiation by Elizabeth Hake. It's set in this time-bending story between modern time and ancient Egypt, and the story follows this young woman's initiation into the spiritual path. Of the many spiritual lessons the woman encounters, the one that struck me most was this: if you would have one thing guide your life, look for that which repeats itself again and again. I'll say that again. If you would have one thing guide your life, look for that which repeats itself again and again. In other words, life will not be a straight line of isolated events. Instead, life happens in patterns, right? Of events that twist and turn and fold onto each other in ways we couldn't have imagined. The goal, if there is one, of the spiritual journey is to just notice these patterns and learn to read their wisdom. And I think that's a little easier said than done. I mean, ignoring our patterns is pretty simple, right? It's something we get good at. Because, if we ignore them, it will all go away, right? If I just hold my breath long enough and I pretend not to see it, it's not there, right? You can't see me, Bruce. I'm not here.
I see it.
I'm not here. I think if this strategy worked, if ignoring our lives would just somehow heal our wounds, my guess is that many therapists and spiritual teachers would be out of a job. But the bliss of ignorance doesn't last forever. And all too soon, the pattern repeats, doesn't it? Old wounds are triggered. Unresolved relationship issues show back up in new ways. We cry at the same old heartbreak love songs. And we fill our journals with entries that revisit tried and true themes in our lives over and over again. Now, ancient cultures from around the world understood this view of repeating patterns in our life that were not one straight line. And they created this physical representation of the spiral of life in the form of labyrinths. Labyrinth carvings and constructions are hundreds and even thousands of years old and have been found in numerous places around the world, from ancient Greece and Rome and Egypt and the Celtic tradition. Many, many traditions have some form of this labyrinth design. And they all consist of this one path that bends and folds back over itself, arriving at a center, and then winds back out. They are said to symbolize the journey of life and the spiritual journey of the soul. Now, in modern times, the symbol of the labyrinth emerged even as a Jungian archetype for self-discovery. Carl Jung saw the labyrinth as a symbol of reconciliation between our inner self and the external world. He felt that the journey of the labyrinth leads one into their own psyche, the center of the self, and then we must come back out from that. It's a process that he felt necessary for dealing with issues in our lives. In his book, Stages of Life, Jung writes, "When we must deal with problems, we instinctively wish to hear only of unequivocal results and completely forget that these results can only be brought about when we have ventured into and emerged from the darkness," right? So instead of here's my problem, give me the answer, Jung is suggesting those answers only come from this journey. The serious problems in life are never fully resolved, he said. If ever they should appear to be so, it is a sure sign that something has been lost, right? So he's saying our problems we're never getting there, right? It's the journey. It's the journey, silly. Now, I'm not sure whether to be inspired or depressed by that statement, right? How about you? But not all modern psychology and contemporary spiritual teachers would agree that we are destined to repeat patterns again and again. And in fact, some teach an alternative path. In his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza suggests that real transformation comes in our lives if we simply break what he calls the habit of being ourselves. Indeed, he suggests that most of what we do as humans is a result of habituated ways of being. He notes that not only are our actions habitual, but so too are our thoughts and emotions. He estimates that about 90% of the thoughts you will have today are thoughts you had yesterday, and the day before, and the day before. I think he's being generous, because I think some days it's more like 99.9, right? Dispenza goes on to suggest that just like an addiction to a substance, we actually become addicted to those habitual thoughts and the emotional states they create. He notes that all thought produces emotion, right? As an example, if you enter this room today and you think, no one in this room likes me or cares that I'm even here, right? That thought will produce a certain emotion because the brain releases chemicals into the body as a result of that thought, and we end up having this visceral sensation. A sensation happens in our bodies. In other words, we feel something. In that example, that something is probably going to not feel too good, right? Most likely, if you walk in here and think no one is going to like you, the accompanying feeling is going to be a knot in your belly, maybe some tightness in your chest, and then an emotion of unworthiness or maybe loneliness is going to arise. Or maybe it goes in a different direction for you, and the emotion that arises is righteousness, which then produces the thought of like, well, who cares? I don't need these people anyway, right? Becomes this cycle of thinking and feeling and thinking and feeling. Of course, most of our daily thoughts are pretty benign. I have to remember to go get avocados from the store probably doesn't elicit a huge emotional response from you. Unless, of course, you think about the traffic and the price of avocados, right? But this is all par for the course on a normal day. This happens. We think, we feel, we think, we feel, right? However, Dispenza notes that it is when our thoughts and our emotions become habitual that we start down a very windy road. If every time you enter into any room, you have that same thought, no one cares that I'm here, your body will again and again produce the same chemical soup that produces the same bodily sensation, and the same emotions will arise over and over. Does anybody ever have this experience? Am I getting some, Is everybody thinking of that little emotion you carry around with you all the time, or that thought patterns you carry around, right? In the case I was giving, that might be loneliness or unworthiness or righteousness starts to like bubble up every time you walk into a room. Feeling these emotions then causes you to act in accord with them, right? If you feel unloved, are you going to reach out to a lot of people? Probably not, right? If you feel righteous, are you going to enter into a friendly conversation with someone? Probably not. It's a cycle that continues. So Dispenza says that over time, as the body gets habituated to receiving this chemical soup, the body actually becomes addicted to that mix of chemicals and to those sensations and to those emotions, right? So we can become addicted to the feeling of unworthiness or righteousness or loneliness, or you fill in the blank. We all have one. After a while, the body starts to send us its own messages to the brain. It says, hey, hello, we're going into a new room. Remember, we like our chemical soup that's associated with this. We need our little chemicals that are going to feel lonely or feel unworthy or feel righteous. And so the brain conjures up those thoughts. Oh, yeah, right. I don't know why I'm going into this place. No one cares about me. These are all off-base people. I wouldn't want to get to know them anyway, right? Whatever the thoughts. And then guess what? You start to feel in alignment with your thoughts because the body responds. And it doesn't take long for this habit to take over in events that have nothing to do with entering a room in this example. Eventually, says Dispenza, as that person gets so practiced at feeling unworthy or feeling righteous or feeling lonely, whatever that feeling is, they start to create a belief and an affirmation about that is who they are or that is what life is. And once a belief is locked in, you will establish patterns of behavior to affirm that belief again and again, and I've been here again, right? How many people have ever done this, right? Same place, right? Well, there's no solution, so let's go have a cake. No, teasing. But the pattern will continue, right? Others will see you, and then we start to say of each other, oh, that's just their personality, right? These patterns, these belief systems, this way of being becomes so habituated that it just becomes who we are, and others see us and say, that's just them. That's just their personality. Little do they suspect it would be more accurate for them to say, oh, that is just how they practiced being, right? So next time you see some way, oh, certain politicians are very practiced at being certain ways, but so are we. In her book, Brene Brown speaks about one habitual pattern of behavior I think many of us practice. It's this. It's when even if something is going just fine, we stop ourselves and we think, uh-oh. Oh, I hear some laughs. Anybody do this? This is good. This is a little bit too good, right? I wonder when the bad thing is going to happen. I love my children so much. Boy, I hope something bad never happens to them, right? It's like we can't experience loving our children without that other thought right there. Oh, I hope they're going to be okay. Instead of allowing ourselves to sit in a place of joy, we kind of pre-plan or prepare ourselves for some future terrible event that may never happen. And in doing so, we practice in that moment the feelings of that terrible event, right? You know how like you kind of like think about a terrible event, you kind of feel it a little bit. You feel like, oh wow, what if I got in a car accident on my way home? And if everybody started thinking that right now, we'd all kind of start feeling this little thought about that, right? And if we practice that, we can get really good about having that anxiety feeling. Oh my gosh, what if this happens? What if that happens? To quote Brene Brown about this, she says, when we lose our tolerance for joy, joy becomes foreboding. And in the words of Dr. Dispenza, he would say, if we become habituated to feeling anxiety or fear along with the bits of joy, it will be impossible to experience joy without it, right? How many people are able to just really sit and feel joyous without all the other stuff sneaking in? I'm going to make that a challenge for your week to just notice. Notice this week how many times you allow yourself to just really sit in joy without that little commentary. So according to Dr. Dispenza, unless we break the habits of being who we have been, we will be caught in the same repeating labyrinth of emotions, thoughts, and actions. So how do we do this? How do we break this habit that locks us into patterns? Well, I think the list is long about many things. Dr. Dispenza teaches a lot of meditation, which I've practiced and is very helpful. But today I want to just focus on one practice I think that's very accessible for all of us. And it's a practice that if you were at our installation last week, you heard Reverend Heather Janulis speak about. Because she asked this question. She posed the question, where is the sacred? And I remember in meetings with her when she was my supervisor, that's what we talked about so often. Where is the sacred in this? Where is the mundane? Where in the mundane, and even in the profound, in the joy and in the struggle is the sacred? And maybe you prefer other language besides sacred and you would just prefer the language of love, right? Where is the love in this? And I really think that by asking this question, it's one way to start breaking those old habits, these old patterns of negative emotion. Right? Earlier, when we declared to our children that they were born from goodness and are blessed with universal love, that they are born as sacred. And I think if we really believe that, if we really believe what we just said to our children, then I think one of our core practices as Unitarian Universalists would be indeed to practice viewing this goodness, to practice recognizing the love in everything, to practice seeing the sacred, basically to make a habit out of recognizing goodness. Think of how much our society these days is trying to train us into recognizing the not goodness, recognizing the bad, recognizing the pain. And I'm not saying we should ignore those, but how often do we allow ourselves to find the joy and the sacred even within all of the other things? I know this may sound improbable, especially in today's political and social climate, because we have become so patterned to see the enemy in others. But here's some good and bad news. I think that when we fail to recognize the humanity and goodness the sacred in someone the first time they pass by us in our spiral of life, we will surely see them again and again and again. They may have different names, but they're the same opportunity. Because perhaps our lives are a spiral by design so that we do face a lot of the same situations again and again, not as some morbid Groundhog Day hell, but simply as a chance to not miss the sacred, to not miss that opportunity to love again and again. My guru, my teacher used to say, do everything with so much love in your heart that you would never want to do it any other way. Do everything you do with so much love in your heart that you would never want to do it any other way. What if we are destined to repeat our lives over and over again until we can do that? Until we can live each moment with so much love, love each person so fully that we would never want to do it any other way. I know it sounds unattainable. That's why I personally believe in multiple lives. I give myself the out. I can come back and finish this work. So let me wrap up by just saying the message of this morning is this. Your life will repeat itself. Okay, that's probably not news. It's going to repeat itself over and over. And over, life will come to you, and you are going to get to decide how you will engage with it. My hope for each of us is that we take the opportunity each turn to practice seeing the goodness. That we take that opportunity at each turn to practice recognizing the joy and the sacred and the love, not just in ourselves, but in each other. We're going to have a labyrinth out here in the middle of the sanctuary after service. The chairs will be moved aside. It's going to be this big, beautiful labyrinth. And I invite you to come and practice walking the labyrinth. And as you move through these pathways that curve back into itself, think of for yourself, what is that pattern? What is that pattern for you that you repeat again and again and again? And then enter yourself into the center of that labyrinth and perhaps make a decision to when you walk back out to see it differently. Think of those same patterns in life, those same opportunities in life, and how can you see them differently? How can you conjure up a different emotion in those moments? May you indeed break any habits you hold that keep you from seeing and celebrating the sacred as you travel the labyrinth of your life, my friends. Now, what would be the perfect song to end with, given all this turning? I think we should turn and turn and turn. In your orders of service is the words. Please rise as you are able, and let's turn, turn, turn.
I love that song. It always makes me think of Kathy Middleman when you and I sang it outside that time. I know you enjoyed it. She loves pop music. One way we seek to live ethical lives is by partnering with other organizations who work to bring love, kindness, and justice to the world. We encourage our members and friends to support their work financially as we share our weekly collection, and also by engaging in direct action. This month, we are in partnership with Must Ministry Summer Lunch Program. Must's goal is to provide breakfast and lunch to at least 6,000 children for 9 weeks. An estimated 540,000 meals will be distributed across the 6 countries. In addition to food, Must will also have mind, body, and soul activity kits. Let's support Must's effort to ensure that children do not go hungry. A link to ways to give is posted in the chat. And for those of you here in the sanctuary, as the basket is passed, please feel free to offer a donation today, or if you'd prefer, also in the basket are cards, which describe the many convenient ways you can make your donation at a later time. We like to make it as easy as possible for you to help support what we're doing here. Your support is vital and greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, and the children of Cobb County, thank you for support with their summer lunch program. I want to end with 2 things. One, parents, please do not leave without receiving your certificate of dedication, these beautiful certificates that Maggie Baker made for your child commemorate this day. So thank you, Maggie, for all that you do, my dear. Let me leave you with the blessing that I offered our children. My dear friends, may your feet stand against injustice. May the work of your hands be generous. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak with kindness. May your heart know and give love abundantly. And may you joyously embrace the mystery all the days of your life. Blessed be.
Now for our chalice extinguishing. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. And these we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. please join us for refreshments and fellowship in our, I believe it's in our fellowship hall this morning.
I think
or
so.
it's-
Cake and ice cream.
A cake and ice cream. Wow. How can you pass that up? And that's on the first floor near the back doors. And for those of you that are online, please stay tuned in, and you'll be able to go to virtual breakout rooms for your fellowship time. At 11:15, our second hour activities for adults, children, and youth begin. You can see the order, listings in the order of service. And also I have to mention that also in your order of service, you'll see the thing for Waldo's, which is back, so yay. And Stephanie Puffer and her son Russell Puffer will be the opening act, and the main act will be Nothing to Lose, and that'll be $10, and that'll be on the 14th here in the sanctuary at 6:30, so that'll be a lot of fun. And also have to say before I close out, very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are here. Thank you for being here, and happy Mother's Day to you.
And Jeffrey, one thing I want to just make mention, we do have some volunteers already who said they would. Anybody else that feels like you want to become a volunteer, please stay. As soon as we're done our service, we're going to be moving chairs and laying down our beautiful labyrinth. The labyrinth will be open after second hour as well, so we're going to start it. So if you want to go to some other second hour activity, please do. And then you can come in and do the labyrinth as well. We'll keep it open till, what do you think, Chris, 12:45, 1 o'clock, something like that when everybody's done. Okay? All right, thank you. Please go now in peace and take peace wherever you go.